If you're over 60 and lately your nights don't feel as restful as they once did, you're not imagining it. Maybe you lie down feeling tired, but your mind won't fully quiet. Maybe you wake up in the middle of the night for no clear reason. Or maybe you sleep, but still wake up feeling emotionally drained, slightly anxious, or unusually low the next morning. For many women after 60, sleep and mood begin to change quietly, without a dramatic moment that explains when or why it started. What makes this especially frustrating is that everything on the outside may seem fine. Life is calmer. Responsibilities are lighter. There's no obvious reason to feel restless, sad, or emotionally fragile. And yet something feels off. Many women describe it as losing that deep sense of comfort at night, the feeling of being able to rest both physically and emotionally at the same time. For years, women were told this was just part of aging, that lighter sleep, low mood, or nighttime anxiety were normal and unavoidable after menopause. Some were quickly offered sleep medications or antidepressants, often without a clear explanation of what was actually changing inside their bodies. Others tried herbal teas, supplements, or relaxation techniques, only to find temporary relief at best. But here's something most women were never clearly told. After 60, especially after menopause, the brain's chemistry changes in ways that directly affect both serotonin and sleep regulation. Serotonin isn't just the feel-good chemical. It plays a central role in calming the nervous system at night and preparing the brain for deep, restorative sleep. When serotonin levels drop or become unstable, sleep becomes lighter, mood becomes more fragile, and mornings feel heavier than they should. The hopeful part is this: these changes are not a personal failure, and they are not permanent. In today's video, I'm going to show you how one simple, familiar fruit can naturally support serotonin production and help your body return to deeper, calmer sleep after 60, without harsh medications or complicated routines. If topics like sleep, mood, and emotional balance after 60 matter to you, you may want to subscribe to the channel. Here we focus on gentle, science-based strategies to help women feel calmer, more rested, and more like themselves again. After menopause, the systems that regulate mood and sleep become far more sensitive. Serotonin, the neurotransmitter responsible for emotional calm and sleep preparation, often declines quietly, and when serotonin drops, sleep usually follows. This is why so many women say they feel exhausted but wired at night, sleepy but unable to fully relax, or emotionally heavier as the evening approaches. Here's what's rarely explained. Your brain doesn't fall asleep on its own. It needs serotonin first. Serotonin is the chemical signal that tells your nervous system it's safe to slow down, and it's also the precursor to melatonin, the hormone that controls deep, restorative sleep. When serotonin is low, melatonin production becomes irregular, and sleep loses its depth and rhythm. Now here's the surprising part. There is one simple fruit, often overlooked and even underestimated, that plays a direct role in supporting both serotonin production and the natural sleep cycle in women over 60. It's not exotic, it's not expensive, and it doesn't work by sedating you or forcing your body into rest. Instead, it gently supports the same biochemical pathways your body relied on for decades. What makes this fruit especially interesting is that it works on multiple levels at once. It provides the raw material your brain needs to produce serotonin, supports the gut-brain connection that becomes fragile with age, and helps signal your nervous system that it's time to relax. Many women notice not only better sleep, but also a calmer mood in the late afternoon and evening, when anxiety and restlessness often peak. Later in this video, I'll show you exactly how to use this fruit in the right way, at the right time of day, to support serotonin and help your body prepare for deeper, more peaceful sleep. I'll also explain why simply eating it isn't always enough, and what small adjustments make the biggest difference after 60. When we talk about improving mood and sleep after 60, most people immediately think of supplements, pills, or complicated routines. Very few imagine that something as simple and familiar as a fruit could play such a meaningful role in emotional balance and deep, restorative sleep. But this is exactly where many women are surprised. The fruit we're talking about today is the banana. Yes, the same banana you've probably eaten your entire life, often without realizing how powerful it can be for women over 60 when it comes to serotonin and sleep. This isn't about trends or superfoods from the other side of the world. It's about understanding why the banana works differently in the body after menopause, and why its benefits become even more relevant at this stage of life. Bananas contain a unique combination of nutrients that directly support serotonin production. One of the most important is tryptophan, the essential amino acid your brain uses as the raw material to create serotonin. As we discussed earlier, serotonin doesn't appear out of nowhere. It must be built step by step, and tryptophan is the starting point. Without enough of it, emotional stability and sleep quality often begin to suffer. But the banana doesn't stop there. It also provides vitamin B6, a critical cofactor that helps convert tryptophan into serotonin efficiently. Without adequate B6, much of the tryptophan you consume never becomes serotonin at all. This is one of the reasons bananas are especially valuable for women over 60, whose conversion processes naturally slow down with age. In addition, bananas contain magnesium and potassium, minerals that help calm the nervous system and relax muscles. This calming effect is essential not only for mood, but also for sleep. When the nervous system remains overstimulated in the evening, serotonin struggles to convert into melatonin, the hormone that allows you to fall asleep and stay asleep. Bananas gently support this transition, helping the body move from alertness into rest. What makes the banana particularly interesting is how gentle and non-stimulating it is. It doesn't spike energy. It doesn't force relaxation. Instead, it supports the body's natural rhythms, which is exactly what many women need after 60. Rather than pushing the nervous system, it nourishes it. This is why many women notice that when bananas are used intentionally, at the right time and in the right way, they experience not only better sleep, but also a subtle emotional steadiness the next day. Less inner agitation, less nighttime restlessness, a calmer, more grounded mood. But there's something important we need to clarify. Simply eating a banana at any time of day is not enough to unlock its full benefits for serotonin and sleep after 60. At this stage, many women start asking themselves a quiet but persistent question. If life is calmer now, if the responsibilities are lighter, and if they are finally taking better care of themselves, why does sleep feel more fragile and emotional balance harder to maintain after 60? The answer is not stress alone, and it's not simply aging. It's a deeper shift happening in the brain and nervous system after menopause. After estrogen declines, the brain's ability to regulate serotonin and melatonin becomes less efficient. Serotonin is essential not only for mood, but also for initiating restful sleep. Melatonin, the hormone that helps you fall asleep and stay asleep, is produced directly from serotonin. When serotonin levels become unstable, sleep naturally follows the same pattern. This is why many women over 60 feel tired at night but wired at the same time, or fall asleep only to wake up repeatedly during the night. Another major factor is the nervous system. After decades of stress, caregiving, and emotional responsibility, the nervous system often remains in a low-grade state of alert, even when there is no immediate threat. This makes it harder for the body to fully relax at night. When the nervous system does not feel safe enough to slow down, serotonin struggles to stabilize, and sleep becomes light, fragmented, and unrefreshing. Digestion also changes after 60, and this plays a much bigger role in sleep than most women realize. The gut is deeply connected to serotonin production, and with age, digestion becomes slower and less efficient. This means fewer nutrients reach the brain in the form it needs. Even when women eat well, the conversion process becomes less reliable. As a result, the brain doesn't receive consistent signals that it's time to relax, wind down, and sleep deeply. This is where many women feel frustrated. They may avoid caffeine, try calming teas, follow bedtime routines, and still lie awake at night wondering why their body won't cooperate. The issue is not discipline. It's chemistry. The brain is missing gentle, reliable signals that support serotonin production and nighttime calm. And this is exactly why certain foods become far more powerful after 60 than they ever were before. The body now responds best to nutrients that are easy to digest, naturally calming, and directly involved in serotonin and melatonin pathways. Foods that quietly tell the nervous system, you are safe. You can rest now. This sets the stage for why the banana, a simple and familiar fruit, becomes surprisingly effective at this stage of life. Not because it is magical, but because it works in harmony with the body's changing chemistry after menopause. A banana is not just a source of quick energy. Inside your body, it acts as a multi-layered support system for serotonin production and nighttime relaxation. One of its most important roles is providing tryptophan, the essential amino acid your brain uses to produce serotonin. Without enough tryptophan, serotonin levels naturally decline, and sleep becomes lighter, more fragmented, and less restorative. But what makes the banana especially valuable after 60 is not just the presence of tryptophan. It's the environment it creates inside the body. Bananas contain natural carbohydrates that gently raise insulin levels, which helps tryptophan cross the blood-brain barrier more efficiently. This is critical after menopause, when this transport process becomes less effective. In simple terms, the banana doesn't just provide the building block, it helps deliver it to where it needs to go. Once tryptophan reaches the brain, it begins its conversion into serotonin. And here's where sleep enters the picture. Serotonin is the direct precursor to melatonin, the hormone responsible for deep, restful sleep. If serotonin is low, melatonin production suffers. This is why many women over 60 feel tired but wired at night, struggling to fall asleep or waking up too early with a restless mind. The banana also provides vitamin B6, a crucial cofactor in this conversion process. Without enough B6, tryptophan cannot efficiently become serotonin, and serotonin cannot properly become melatonin. After 60, mild B6 deficiencies are surprisingly common, even in women who eat relatively well. This makes the banana a simple but strategic food for restoring this pathway naturally. In addition, bananas are rich in magnesium and potassium, minerals that calm the nervous system and relax muscle tension. This calming effect helps reduce nighttime anxiety and physical restlessness, creating the internal conditions necessary for sleep to deepen. Instead of forcing sleep, the body is gently guided into it. When these elements come together, tryptophan, natural carbohydrates, vitamin B6, and calming minerals, something important happens. Serotonin production becomes steadier during the evening, melatonin rises more naturally at night, and sleep begins to feel smoother and more complete. Many women describe it not as being knocked out, but as finally feeling safe and relaxed enough to rest. This is not about magic or instant results. It's about supporting a biological rhythm that once worked effortlessly, and now simply needs the right signals again. When it comes to using food to support serotonin and sleep after 60, many women understandably feel skeptical. Bananas are familiar, affordable, and simple, which makes them easy to underestimate. But when researchers began looking more closely at how certain fruits interact with brain chemistry, bananas consistently stood out for one reason. They support multiple serotonin-related pathways at the same time, rather than acting on just one. Scientific research shows that bananas contain a meaningful amount of tryptophan, the amino acid your brain uses to produce serotonin. On their own, bananas are not a pharmaceutical dose of tryptophan, and that's actually a good thing. Instead of forcing serotonin, bananas provide a gentle, food-based signal that works with the body's natural rhythm, which is especially important after menopause when the nervous system becomes more sensitive to overstimulation. What makes bananas particularly relevant for women over 60 is how their nutrients interact. Alongside tryptophan, bananas provide vitamin B6, a critical cofactor required for converting tryptophan into serotonin and later into melatonin. Without enough B6, this conversion slows down significantly, even if tryptophan is present. This is one of the reasons research repeatedly shows that food-based serotonin support tends to work better when nutrients come together naturally rather than in isolation. Bananas also contain magnesium and potassium, minerals that help calm the nervous system and reduce nighttime muscle tension and restlessness. Studies on sleep physiology show that magnesium supports relaxation by regulating stress hormones, while potassium helps prevent nighttime awakenings caused by subtle muscle contractions or nervous system overactivity. Together, these minerals create a biological environment that allows serotonin to transition smoothly into melatonin as evening approaches. Another important finding in nutritional research is the role of carbohydrates in serotonin transport. Bananas contain gentle, easily digestible carbohydrates that help tryptophan cross the blood-brain barrier more efficiently. This is especially relevant after 60, when digestion and nutrient transport slow down. Instead of spiking blood sugar, a banana provides a steady release of glucose that actually supports serotonin signaling, rather than disrupting it. Clinical observations also show that women who include bananas strategically, particularly in the late afternoon or early evening, often report improvements in sleep onset, fewer nighttime awakenings, and a calmer emotional state before bed. These effects are not immediate or dramatic, but they are consistent, which is exactly what the aging nervous system responds to best. Importantly, research does not suggest that bananas act like sleeping pills or mood-altering drugs. Their effect is regulatory, not sedative. They help restore balance rather than override the system. This is why bananas are often recommended in nutritional protocols for older adults dealing with mild anxiety, emotional fatigue, or disrupted sleep patterns. Taken together, the science supports a reassuring conclusion. Bananas are not too simple to matter. They work because they deliver the right nutrients in the right form at the right pace, exactly what the female body needs after 60. If this video has been helping you understand your body and your emotions more clearly, gently tap the like button. It may seem simple, but it helps this message reach other women who are quietly struggling with the same changes you once thought you were facing alone. When we talk about bananas supporting serotonin and sleep after 60, it's essential to be clear and honest. This is not about miracles, shortcuts, or instant emotional transformations. And it's not about forcing your brain into happiness or sedation. What we're discussing is a gentle biological support, one that works with your nervous system rather than overpowering it. Bananas help because they provide key elements your body uses to produce serotonin naturally, especially tryptophan, vitamin B6, and magnesium. But serotonin is not a switch you flip overnight. After menopause, your brain needs consistency, safety, and rhythm to rebuild emotional balance. That's why the changes most women notice tend to appear gradually, often as quieter evenings, deeper sleep, or a calmer emotional baseline rather than sudden bursts of energy or mood. It's also important to understand that supporting serotonin does not remove all emotions. Sadness, reflection, and sensitivity are part of being human, especially in later stages of life. What changes is that emotions become less overwhelming and less unpredictable. Many women describe feeling steadier, more emotionally grounded, and less anxious at night, which naturally improves sleep quality. Safety matters deeply at this stage of life. While bananas are a natural food and generally very safe, context still matters. If you have diabetes, severe blood sugar instability, or are on medications that affect serotonin, it's always wise to observe how your body responds and consult your healthcare provider if needed. This approach is meant to support, not override, your physiology. Another key point is that bananas work best as part of a broader emotional and nutritional environment. Poor sleep, chronic stress, unresolved inflammation, or erratic eating patterns can all interfere with serotonin production. This is why we focus on gentle routines and simple combinations, rather than relying on a single food to do all the work. Most importantly, this approach respects your nervous system. There is no dependency, no emotional numbing, and no forcing of chemistry. Instead, it helps your brain remember how to regulate mood and sleep naturally, the way it once did more effortlessly earlier in life. Now that you understand why serotonin drops after 60, how sleep becomes lighter, and why the body struggles to calm itself at night, the most important question becomes very simple and very human. How do you turn all of this information into something you can actually do every day without stress, confusion, or drastic changes? This is where many women feel overwhelmed. They're given complicated protocols, long supplement lists, or advice that feels more exhausting than helpful. But supporting serotonin and sleep after 60 doesn't require discipline or perfection. It requires alignment with how your body works now. And that's exactly where one simple, familiar fruit becomes surprisingly powerful. Because what matters most at this stage of life is not forcing the body, but supporting its natural rhythms. Serotonin and sleep are deeply connected to timing, digestion, and nervous system calm. When the body receives the right signals at the right moment, it responds gently and effectively. When it doesn't, even the best nutrients struggle to do their job. This is why we're now shifting from understanding to application. Not with extreme changes, but with a practical strategy built around something accessible, affordable, and easy to tolerate, especially in the evening when anxiety tends to rise and sleep feels more fragile. The goal is not to add pressure to your routine, but to create a sense of safety and predictability for your nervous system. In the next part, we'll talk specifically about how banana, when used correctly, can support serotonin production, calm the nervous system, and prepare the body for deeper, more restorative sleep. Not because it's magical, but because it contains a unique combination of nutrients that work together with the gut, the brain, and the sleep-wake cycle, something that becomes especially important after menopause. What's also important to understand is that it's not just about eating a banana at random. It's about how, when, and why it's used. Small details like timing, pairing, and portion size make a meaningful difference after 60. When those details are respected, the body often responds with a sense of calm that feels natural rather than forced. As we move forward, listen with curiosity rather than pressure. You don't need to apply everything you hear. You only need to notice what feels realistic for your life right now. One supportive habit, done consistently, can be far more powerful than many changes done briefly. The banana is unique because it supports serotonin and sleep through multiple pathways at the same time. It provides tryptophan, which is the raw material for serotonin. It also contains vitamin B6, which is essential for converting tryptophan into serotonin efficiently. And beyond that, bananas are rich in natural carbohydrates that help tryptophan cross the blood-brain barrier more easily, something that becomes increasingly difficult after menopause. This combination makes the banana far more than just a fruit. It becomes a gentle neurological support tool. For women over 60, timing matters more than quantity. One of the most effective ways to use banana for emotional balance and sleep is in the evening, about 30 to 60 minutes before bedtime. At this time of day, serotonin naturally begins its transition into melatonin, the hormone responsible for deep, restorative sleep. A banana eaten alone, or paired with a small source of protein such as a spoon of yogurt, cottage cheese, or a few nuts, helps stabilize blood sugar and supports this serotonin to melatonin conversion without overstimulating the nervous system. Many women notice that when they use banana this way, nighttime anxiety softens. Thoughts become quieter. The body feels safer. Falling asleep requires less effort, and sleep feels deeper rather than fragmented. This happens not because the banana sedates the brain, but because it restores a biochemical rhythm that the body once managed naturally. Bananas can also be used earlier in the day to support mood stability. Adding half a banana to breakfast, especially alongside protein, helps maintain steady serotonin levels throughout the morning and reduces emotional dips later in the afternoon. This is particularly helpful for women who experience late-day sadness, irritability, or a sudden drop in energy around sunset. It's important to keep this approach gentle. One banana per day is usually enough. More is not better. The goal is not to flood the system, but to provide consistent support. Overeating fruit late at night can disrupt digestion or blood sugar, which works against sleep rather than helping it. Listening to your body's response is essential. Another key point is regularity. Using banana occasionally won't create lasting change. But when it becomes part of a simple nightly ritual, it sends a calming signal to the nervous system. The body learns what to expect. Serotonin production becomes steadier. Sleep begins to feel more predictable and less fragile. And perhaps most importantly, this practice reframes food from something stressful into something nurturing. Instead of worrying about what to avoid, you begin focusing on what gently supports your emotional well-being. That shift alone often brings a sense of relief and emotional safety. For many women over 60, sleep problems and emotional restlessness don't feel dramatic enough to be called an illness. Yet they quietly affect everything: mood, energy, patience, memory, and even the way you see yourself. What makes this so difficult is not just waking up at night, but the feeling that your body no longer knows how to fully rest. What you've learned today is something most women were never told. These changes are not a personal failure, and they are not simply what aging looks like. They are the result of real biological shifts in brain chemistry, digestion, and hormone signaling after menopause. And when those systems are gently supported again, the body often responds in ways that feel surprisingly natural. The banana we talked about is not magic, and it doesn't force sleep or happiness. What it does is far more respectful. It provides your body with the raw materials it needs to calm the nervous system, support serotonin production, and allow sleep to unfold the way it once did. Gradually, quietly, and without struggle. For many women, this means falling asleep more easily, waking up less during the night, and feeling emotionally steadier during the day. This isn't about chasing perfect sleep or constant happiness. It's about restoring a sense of ease, going to bed without tension, Waking up without that heavy emotional fog. Feeling more like yourself again, not because you pushed harder, but because you finally supported your body the way it needs to be supported at this stage of life. If you're over 60 and you've been telling yourself that restless nights, light sleep, or low mood are just something you have to accept, I hope this video gently challenges that belief. Your brain is still adaptable. Your nervous system is still responsive. And it's never too late to create conditions that allow your body to rest, repair, and rebalance. Start small. One simple habit. One evening routine. One nourishing choice. Consistency matters far more than intensity. Over time, these small signals tell your body that it's safe to slow down again. If this video helped you understand your body better or made you feel less alone in what you're experiencing, know that this channel is here to support you. And if this kind of calm, science-based guidance feels helpful to you, I invite you to subscribe to the channel so these conversations can continue to reach you. Here we focus on natural, science-based ways to improve sleep, emotional balance, and vitality after 60. Your rest matters. Your emotional well-being matters. And this chapter of life can still be deeply restorative. See you in the next video.